Since childhood, the chairman loved comedy. But the chairman had a second great love: combat. To slake his thirst for both, he created the very space you now sit in, the Comedy Zone, and populated it with the greatest comedic minds of this age! Or those close enough to the Comedy Zone, for, the chairman didn't believe in paying mileage, really. From all walks of life they came, and one by one they transformed into their true selves. Their vow to capture the heavyweight comedy title at any cost. Some combatants were motivated by the goodness and frivolity of comedy. They came to be known as the Faces. Others were apparent twisted creatures, seeking only to use the dark powers of comedy for their own twisted ends. To keep these titanic personalities in check, the chairman installed a referee, Eric Bloom, entrusting him with keeping order within the Comedy Zone, according to the deep comedy. First to rise above the throng was Crusher T, a mighty funky bad mother. Shut your mouth, we're only talking about Crusher T. I can dig it. Sorry, I got a bit carried away there. Crusher T was first to capture the title for himself, though his reign would be short-lived as he was cut down by the ever-accident-prone Kip Tumble. Kip was a face's face, and had it not been for the outside intervention of other parties, he would surely be champion still today. Kip mysteriously disappeared without a trace, forcing the title to go up for anyone's grasp. The dastardly Reuben Hubbard, with the help of his identical twin sister Ellie, made off with the belt in the mass confusion. When next the combatants met, Crusher T was missing, as well as Kip Tumble. Their absence coincided with Coach Gisetsky aligning herself with the delightfully lovey-dovey Mora Amore, subsequently literally switching sides. In abandoning her heelish brethren, Coach challenged Reuben for the belt and unseated him with ease. After suffering this disgraceful defeat at the hands of the wily Coach, Reuben too disappeared into thin air. It was clear that Coach's alliance with Mora Amore was powerful, but no one knew the extent of that power until Kip Tumble finally returned after being missing for 3 months. Kip claimed to have been jumped from behind by an entire football team and then being left for dead in the back alley dumpster. He accused Crusher T of perpetrating this heinous crime, but Crusher too had been the victim of an ambush attack, and so had Reuben, who was responsible for these cold and calculated assaults. At the apex of Season 1, the mastermind was revealed to be none other than Mora, who burned her own relationship with Coach Gisetsky to claim the Comedy Heavyweight Championship for herself. In an unforeseen turn of events, Mora had not only been behind the assaults, but she had committed them initially because of her adoration for Coach. Season 1 ended in a shambles. The wicked Mora Amore revealed the belt within her grasp, and all forces of good comedy in disarray. For the first time, the Comedy Zone went dark. After revealing her treachery and proclaiming herself the Dark Queen of the Comedy Zone, Mora's reign of terror spanned into Season 2. And while she ruled with a fist of iron, she had made many enemies. Now, despite the charged atmosphere, it was not one of these enemies that would prove to be Mora's undoing. Eric Bloom was clearly showing the strain of managing the Comedy Zone's bombastic people, and became so fed up, he stormed out of the Comedy Zone one night, vowing to never return. So it was that the next most qualified combatant was made to take up the reins. This, of course, was none other than Coach Gisetsky. At October's masquerade, Eric returned to the belt he had left with. As he made to leave for the last time, Reuben intervened, walking off and talking with the disgruntled Bloom. Later in the show, the pair returned as a new stable, satirical comedic artists resurrecting fundamentals. This two-man power trip would go on to cause all manner of trouble for the other combatants. Mora accepted the challenge of a fan dressed as a clown, who turned out to be none other than Nox the Clown, who struck the wicked Amora off her pedestal and claimed the World Heavyweight Comedy Belt for himself. Despite her best efforts, Amora was never able to recapture the belt or get even with Nox for laying her low. Even now, she hasn't been seen in the Comedy Zone for well over 8 months. Nox reigned for 5 months from October until February. None who rallied against him could defeat him at the craft of comedy. In that time, Nox changed. He became preoccupied with the belt he had won, and from time to time appeared to speak to it as though it were alive. In February, at the massacre, Nox publicly proclaimed his undying romantic love for the title belt. It was from this mist of confusion that the prognosticator emerged victorious against the clown. No one could stand before the might of the prognosticator. He decimated all would-be challengers, from the mighty Titus Cloud to the reprehensible Reuben Hubbard, and even the monster and disenfranchised former referee, Eric Ballou. So great was the power of his comedy that the prognosticator even took control of the show, forcing Coach Chizetsky to play along with the games he dictated. So it was, the time came for the final countout. May's free purview saw Nox the Clown discover the secret of the prognosticator's sinister power. With this information, Nox leveled the playing field for his best friend Titus Cloud to face off against the Phenom and emerge victorious. Who will reign supreme in Season 3?